All right, so you're prepping for this real estate investor interview.
Exciting stuff.
It is. Buying, improving, and then selling those properties, right?
Yeah.
For profit. So you got to be savvy about what's happening in the market and really know how to analyze the numbers side of things.
For sure.
You shared some really great RoleCatcher resources, so we're going to focus on those sample interview questions
Okay.
to get you ready. And we'll throw in some of the career insights from their guide and even touch on how their AI can help you tailor those answers.
Sounds good.
So you ready to kind of unlock your inner real estate mogul?
Yeah, let's do it. Those sample questions are such a good starting point, because they really give you a sense of what those interviewers are going to be looking for. They obviously want to see, your skills and experience on paper, but they also want to get a feel for, are you really genuinely passionate about real estate?
Right. Okay, so let's jump into that first question. What motivated you to pursue a career in real estate investment? Seems like a pretty simple question to start off with, but it's really how you kick things off on a strong foot.
Exactly. And you're right. This one's all about your authenticity. They want to hear your story, why you're interested in real estate, why now, and how your background connects with your ambitions. That's what sets you apart.
So instead of just saying, I like houses, we need to dig a little deeper.
Exactly. Let's say, for example, you've always been super into architecture and design. You could talk about how that evolved into an interest in renovating properties.
Okay.
And maybe even share a quick story about a project that you took on. Or if you've personally seen the impact of real estate development in your community, you could discuss how that's inspired you to kind of create positive change through investments.
That's a great way to make it personal. What if someone's been managing their own finances for a while now and sees real estate as a way to build that long-term wealth? Is that too straightforward?
No, not at all. That shows you understand the financial side, which is key. It's really all about how you present it, how you connect the dots. Maybe you can mention a specific financial strategy you've used successfully and how that piqued your interest in real estate.
Got it.
It's all about being genuine and connecting your story.
So they might follow up with something like, what are your long-term goals in real estate investment? What are they really looking for there?
They want to see your vision. How ambitious are you? Do you see yourself flipping houses, developing properties, maybe even building a whole rental empire?
Whoa.
Be specific, right? So
Yeah.
instead of just saying, I want to be successful, tell them about a particular niche you're excited about. Maybe you're passionate about sustainable building practices.
Okay.
Or you have a knack for finding those up-and-coming neighborhoods.
So it's about showcasing what you know and showing that you've really thought about this beyond just making money.
Yeah, exactly. It's showing that commitment to the field, Interviewers, they want to see that you're in it for the long haul, not just a quick buck.
Right. Okay. Let's move on to question number 2. How do you stay up to date with the latest trends and developments in the real estate industry? This one seems pretty straightforward, but I'm guessing there's a little bit more to it than just saying, I read the news.
You're absolutely right. You can't just passively know what's happening. You have to be proactive. You have to show that passion for staying ahead of the curve.
And the RoleCatcher Career Guide, it actually mentions a few things. Attending conferences and workshops.
Yeah.
Subscribing to industry newsletters.
Great.
And joining professional organizations.
All fantastic starting points. But to really impress them, mention specific publications, discuss a recent conference. Say something like, I recently attended a conference on sustainable building practices, And I was fascinated by the session on incorporating solar panels in residential properties.
Yeah, I like that. Shows you're engaging with the information and seeking out that new knowledge.
Exactly. Demonstrate that continuous learning. And the real estate world, it's constantly evolving, so show that you're adaptable and ready to embrace those new ideas.
Speaking of embracing new ideas, I was reading about this trend of using virtual reality in property tours.
Oh, wow.
Imagine sitting at your desk and touring a potential investment property across the country. It's like something straight out of science fiction.
Yeah, that's a perfect example of tech disrupting real estate. And by mentioning something like that, you're not just following trends, you're anticipating them, thinking critically about how they shape the future.
Okay, so we've covered your motivation and how you stay in the loop. This next one digs into the real nitty-gritty. How do you assess the potential of a real estate investment opportunity?
This is where those analytical skills come in, showing you can make sound decisions. They want to know you've got a process. You're not just going with your gut.
So we need to go beyond just Location, location, location.
Definitely. Highlight those key factors you consider. Property condition, potential for appreciation, rental demand, if that's your focus. Don't shy away from the technical stuff either.
Okay.
Mention cash flow analysis, ROI calculations, how you assess risk.
Wait, hold on. For those of us who aren't financial wizards, break down cash flow analysis and ROI.
Sure. Cash flow analysis is basically looking at the money coming in and going out of a property. You want to make sure that rental income or potential resale value will exceed those expenses. Your mortgage payments, property taxes, maintenance, all that.
Okay.
And then ROI, return on investment, that helps you evaluate how profitable a deal could be. It compares your expected profit to your initial investment.
That makes a lot more sense, so we're painting a picture of a savvy investor who knows those numbers.
Exactly. You want to highlight your data-driven decision-making skills. And don't forget due diligence. Thorough research before you even think about making an offer. Check for hidden problems, review those property titles, ensure it's all compliant with local regulations.
And the RoleCatcher Guide emphasizes being thorough, not rushing into those decisions. They even have a section on red flags to look out for. Super helpful.
Absolutely. Due diligence is crucial. It shows that responsibility, you're not just a gambler, you take calculated risks.
Okay, so we've covered your motivation, how you stay informed, and your analytical skills. Let's move on to number 4. How do you manage risk in your real estate investment portfolio? This one seems particularly important, in a market that can be so unpredictable.
It is, and it's all about understanding that volatility. They want to see your strategic thinking, not someone just hoping for the best.
So we need to show that we're not just throwing darts at a board hoping something sticks.
Exactly. You want to demonstrate a thoughtful approach. And a great way to do that is by discussing diversification. The RoleCatcher Guide talks about this, spreading those investments, different property types, locations, even investment strategies.
Can you give an example of what that diversification might look like?
Sure, let's say you're focusing on residential properties. Instead of just single-family homes in one neighborhood, diversify. Apartments, condos, even commercial properties in other areas. So if one part of the market dips, your entire portfolio isn't as impacted.
Right, it's like not putting all your eggs in one basket.
Exactly. Talk about setting realistic goals, contingency plans for those surprise expenses, and constantly monitoring the market to adjust your strategy.
It's about being proactive, adaptable, not just reacting to the market.
Precisely. By understanding risk management, you show the interviewer you're responsible, prepared to navigate the ups and downs.
Okay, feeling more and more confident with each question we tackle. On to question 5. How do you approach negotiations in real estate transactions? This one always makes me a little nervous. I'm not exactly a natural negotiator.
Negotiations can be tricky, but remember, it's not about being aggressive or winning at all costs.
Okay.
It's finding that agreement that works for both sides.
So collaboration rather than confrontation.
Exactly. Come across as easy to work with, not demanding. Highlight that collaborative, solution-oriented approach. You build rapport, you listen to their needs, find creative solutions that benefit everyone.
The RoleCatcher Guide mentions building a strong network, and I can see how having good relationships, like with agents and brokers, would be so valuable in those situations.
It's huge. Having that network can open doors. Valuable information, insights, potential partners. You could even share an anecdote about how a connection helped you snag a better deal in the past.
Makes it personal and shows you understand the value of those relationships.
Remember, real estate, it's about people as much as properties. Show you can negotiate and build relationships, you'll be seen as a real asset to any team.
We're making some serious progress. Let's hit question 6. How do you prioritize your real estate investment opportunities? Especially when starting out, it must be tempting to jump at everything.
Oh, it's so easy to get swept up in the excitement, but you've got to have that clear framework to evaluate, choose those that align with your goals and your risk tolerance.
So being strategic, disciplined, not just chasing shiny objects.
Exactly. You need a system. Decide. Worth pursuing or pass. Talk about assessing potential returns, evaluating that risk, the time commitment, and aligning it with your long-term portfolio.
For example, if your goal is passive income through rentals, you might prioritize those with strong rental demand over those that need a ton of work before they can be leased.
Perfect example. Strategic thinking, aligning with your goals. You can also discuss your due diligence process, how you weigh all those factors to make informed choices.
It's about showcasing critical thinking, making those sound judgments.
Precisely. Not impulsive, but calculated, based on careful analysis and a clear understanding of your strategy.
Okay, on a roll. Question 7. How do you ensure compliance with local and federal regulations? Real estate's heavily regulated, so this seems pretty important.
You're right. It's showing you understand the legal side, your commitment to ethical practices. Mistakes here can be costly, legally speaking, so prove you take it seriously.
The RoleCatcher Guide suggests staying informed about changes in laws, working with legal professionals, and that thorough due diligence.
All essential. Mention specific resources you use, industry publications, legal databases. Talk about your experience working with attorneys or title companies.
I'm guessing attention to detail is key here. A lot of paperwork involved.
Absolutely. Meticulous records and documentation are vital to prove compliance. Show that you can manage those legal and administrative aspects effectively.
So it's less about knowing every single regulation and more about showing you're committed to doing things the right way, understanding the importance of compliance.
You got it. Responsible investor prioritizing legal and ethical considerations.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground. 7 out of 9 sample questions tackled. Feeling a lot more prepared to face those tough questions.
That's great. And remember, preparation is key to a successful interview. Understand what they're really asking. Craft those thoughtful, personalized responses. You'll be well on your way.
Before we hit those last 2 questions, I wanted to circle back to something that's come up a few times. Building that strong network. The RoleCatcher Guide really highlights this. Why is it so important?
It's absolutely essential in this industry. It's all about relationships. The more connections you have, the more opportunities you'll find. Get that insider info, navigate the market effectively.
Can you give some examples of how that network can really benefit an investor?
Absolutely. Let's say you're looking for off-market properties, those not publicly listed. Having a network of agents, brokers, other investors, you get access to those hidden gems before anyone else.
Oh, wow.
Or tough negotiation. A well-connected investor can tap into their network advice, even a partner, to help secure a better deal.
It's more than just exchanging business cards at an event. It's about building those genuine relationships, that sense of community.
You're right. Building trust, sharing knowledge, supporting each other, creating a win-win.
The RoleCatcher Guide even mentions attending local meetups, joining online forums.
Great ways to connect. The more you immerse yourself in the community, the more you'll learn, grow, and build those relationships that'll benefit you throughout your career.
Okay, I think we've done a fantastic job exploring those first 7 interview questions and highlighting the power of networking.
We're off to a great start. Let's take a short break and then come back and tackle the remaining questions and see how RoleCatcher's AI can help you fine-tune your answers.
Okay, so we're back, ready to tackle those last 2 interview questions, and I am feeling energized and ready to go. What do we got?
All right, let's dive into question 8. How do you differentiate yourself in a competitive real estate market? Now things are getting interesting.
Okay.
This one's all about showcasing your unique strengths, what sets you apart.
So it's not just listing skills and experience. We've
Yeah.
got to show them why we're the best choice, right?
Exactly. What makes you unique as an investor? Do you have that knack for finding those undervalued properties, negotiating those awesome deals? Maybe you specialize in a particular niche like sustainable real estate.
Oh, that reminds me of something I was reading in the RoleCatcher Career Guide about the increasing demand for sustainable housing. So maybe highlighting that expertise in green building practices could really be a differentiator.
Absolutely. It shows you're not just keeping up with the market, you're ahead of it, you're anticipating those trends and, catering to a growing segment of buyers and investors.
Okay.
You could even mention, a recent project where you incorporated those sustainable features.
Right.
Or, maybe talk about a professional development course you took on green building certifications.
It's about positioning yourself as a thought leader, an innovator.
Exactly. And don't forget your personal qualities. Are you super organized, detail-oriented? Do you have a proven track record of exceeding client expectations? Those are all really valuable things to highlight.
So we're blending those hard skills with soft skills, painting the picture of a well-rounded investor.
Exactly. You want to be the complete package. Someone who brings this unique blend of skills, experience, and qualities to the table.
This makes me think about my resume.
Uh-huh.
How I can better highlight those unique qualities.
That's a great takeaway. Remember your resume, that's your first impression. It's got to showcase those aspects that make you stand out.
Okay, let's move on to the final question. How do you manage relationships with clients and stakeholders in your real estate investments? This one seems pretty straightforward, but I'm guessing there's a little bit more to it than just saying, I'm a people person.
You're right. It goes beyond just being friendly and outgoing. Remember, real estate investing, it involved a lot of moving parts. and you'll be interacting with a whole bunch of different people, clients, contractors, lenders, attorneys, the list goes on.
Right. So we need to demonstrate that we can build those strong relationships and really navigate those complex interactions.
That's exactly it. Start by emphasizing the fundamentals, building trust, being reliable and responsive, communicating effectively, and actively listening to their needs and concerns.
And thinking back to the RoleCatcher Career Guide, they actually mentioned that one of the challenges of a real estate investor career is that it can be quite demanding and stressful.
Yeah,
So I imagine that managing those relationships well can really help mitigate some of that stress.
absolutely. When you have strong relationships, people are more likely to be understanding and flexible if challenges arise. They trust you to handle things professionally and have their best interests at heart.
Can you give an example of how that relationship management might actually play out, like in a real estate scenario?
Sure. Let's say you're working on a renovation project and suddenly there's an unexpected delay, maybe due to a permitting issue.
Hmm.
Now, instead of panicking or blaming others, a skilled relationship manager would proactively communicate with the client, explain the situation clearly, and work together to find a solution.
That makes sense. Being transparent, proactive, solution-oriented.
Exactly. By showing that you can handle these tough situations with grace and professionalism, you'll demonstrate to the interviewer that you're a valuable asset, someone who can navigate those complexities and keep everyone on the same page.
Okay,
Hmm.
we did it. We powered through all 9 sample interview questions, and I'm feeling incredibly prepared and confident now.
That's awesome. Remember, preparation is key. Understand the questions they're asking, craft those thoughtful, personalized responses, and you'll be set to ace that interview.
Before we move on, I wanted to circle back to something we talked about briefly earlier, RoleCatcher's AI-powered tools for interview prep.
Right.
It sounds almost too good to be true. Can you tell us more about how this AI magic works?
I'm happy to dive in. So RoleCatcher's built an incredible resource by compiling a database of over 120,000 interview questions and responses. But it's not just about quantity, it's about quality and relevance. Their AI actually analyzes job descriptions to really pinpoint those skills and experiences that employers are looking for in each unique role.
So it's not a one-size-fits-all approach. It's tailoring that advice to the job I'm actually applying for.
Exactly. Think of it like a custom suit for your interview.
Okay.
You're not wearing something off the rack that doesn't quite fit. You're getting that tailored advice designed to help you shine.
I love that. So walk us through how this AI actually helps to craft those better responses.
Let's say you're working on your answer to how do you differentiate yourself in a competitive real estate market? You input your response into RoleCatcher, and their AI analyzes it and provides feedback
On what?
on things like clarity, concreteness, and relevance to that specific job description.
So it's like having a personal editor for my interview answers.
You could say that. It might suggest adding those concrete examples of your successes, highlighting key skills that match what they're looking for, or maybe even rephrasing some sentences to make them more impactful.
I'm really starting to see how powerful this tool can be. It takes the guesswork out of it and helps me tailor my answers to what they want to hear.
That's exactly it. It helps you focus on what matters most and present yourself in the best light.
But it doesn't stop there, right? RoleCatcher's AI can also help with my delivery, which is something I sometimes struggle with. I tend to get nervous and fumble my words, especially in those high-pressure situations.
Oh, you're not alone in that. A lot of people feel the same way. That's where RoleCatcher's AI-powered video practice feature comes in. You can record yourself answering interview questions and then get personalized feedback on your performance.
Wow, that's fantastic. What kind of feedback does it give?
Well, the AI looks at things like your eye contact, your body language, and your vocal tone. It might suggest sitting up straighter, speaking more slowly and clearly, or even modulating your tone of voice to sound more confident and engaging. It's like having a virtual mock interview.
With an expert coach who can pinpoint those areas for improvement.
Exactly.
I can see how practicing with this could really help me calm my nerves and improve how I present myself overall. It's like having a roadmap for success.
It's all about empowering you, right? So you walk into that interview feeling confident and prepared, ready to shine.
All right, so we've covered those sample interview questions, those valuable career insights from RoleCatcher's Guide, and how their AI tools can really help us craft those answers and perfect our delivery. I feel like we've given our listener everything they need to ace that interview.
I think we have, but before we wrap up, I want to circle back to a theme that we've kind of touched upon throughout this episode. The real estate world is constantly changing. Things are evolving.
Right.
So it's really about being adaptable, embracing those new trends and technologies.
And that's where that continuous learning comes in, right?
Yes.
The RoleCatcher Guide really emphasized staying informed about industry developments, attending conferences, and expanding that knowledge base. Any advice on how to stay ahead of the curve in such a fast-paced industry?
Absolutely. Don't just stick to the traditional sources of information. Explore online forums, follow industry blogs, and connect with those other professionals on social media. The more immersed you are, the better prepared you'll be.
I love that perspective. It's not just about getting the job. It's about embracing that lifelong journey of learning and growing in this field.
Exactly. Now, to help our listener continue their exploration, I want to leave them with a question.
Okay.
What do you think are the biggest challenges and opportunities facing the real estate industry in the next 5 years?
Oh, that's a great question. That encourages our listener to really think critically about the future of real estate. Consider all those factors, rising interest rates, evolving demographics, technological advancements, that will all play a role in shaping the industry's landscape.
Exactly. By pondering these big picture questions, our listener can position themselves as a forward-thinking investor, someone who's not just reacting to the market, but actively shaping its future.
What a powerful way to end this deep dive. I feel like we've equipped our listener for their interview and also inspired them to approach their career with purpose and vision.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
We want to thank you, our amazing listener, for joining us on this journey. We're confident that with your passion, your preparation, and those incredible resources from RoleCatcher, you're on your way to achieving your real estate dreams.
Best of luck on your interview. We're so excited to see what you accomplish in this field.
Wow, we've covered so much ground in this deep dive, from those tough interview questions to the career insights and even at AI magic from RoleCatcher.
It's been quite a journey, and I think our listener is walking away with a solid understanding of what it takes to make it as a real estate investor.
Yeah, I agree. But before we wrap things up, I want to go back to something we've mentioned a few times, the importance of being genuine, of authenticity.
That's so important. It's easy to get caught up in all the prepping and strategizing and forget about that human element.
Right, exactly. So when you're in that interview, remember to be yourself. Let your passion for real estate shine through. Share those unique experiences. Connect with them on a personal level.
That authenticity, it draws people in. It sets you apart and makes a real impression.
It shows them that you're not just another candidate. You're a future real estate mogul with that vision, the drive, and a real love for what you do.
Beautifully said. And even if you don't get this specific job, everything you've learned will help you along the way.
Every interview is a chance to learn and grow. It gets you closer to your goals.
Keep honing those skills, expanding your network, exploring new opportunities. The real estate world is full of possibilities.
And RoleCatcher's there every step of the way, right?
Yeah.
Those resources, the AI tools, they're game changers for any aspiring investor.
Absolutely. So to our amazing listener, thank you for joining us on this deep dive. We believe in your potential, and we can't wait to see you make your mark on the real estate world.
Go out there and crush it. We're cheering you on.